Lần đầu tiên trên VTV7, một sân chơi tranh biện bằng tiếng Anh đã xuất hiện. Đó là những chiến binh tranh biện với tinh thần tự tin, văn minh và vô cùng sáng tạo.
Education is the key to the future.
Never satisfied with what you're having.
When will it be enough?
You are never too small to make a difference.
We think that the balanced view here is to know all perspectives, to know all the pros and the cons of what you're fighting for.
Họ đã cống hiến những trận thi đấu hấp dẫn và đầy cảm xúc.
Wow, was so smooth, that was so well prepared.
I love the energy that comes from both sides. I love the enthusiasm that follows the energy and the good content.
Are going to one team. That is
Giải thưởng dành cho nhà vô địch The Debaters mùa thứ nhất là một chuyến học tập và trải nghiệm 2 tuần chương trình dự bị trung học và đại học của chương trình CSP International tại bang Nam Úc do CSP Việt Nam và Ủy ban trường học bang Nam Úc tài trợ, và các giải thưởng do Trung tâm Anh ngữ RES trao tặng. Đội thi hay nhất do ban giám khảo lựa chọn nhận phần thưởng trị giá 60 triệu đồng. Người nói hay nhất nhận phần thưởng trị giá 15 triệu đồng. Đội có lượt phản hồi hay nhất nhận phần thưởng 30 triệu đồng. Và bây giờ đã đến lúc đi tìm nhà vô địch của The Debaters mùa thứ nhất.
How's it going, everybody? Welcome to The Debaters, a game show for high school students here in Vietnam. Broadcasted and produced by VTV7, which is an educational channel here in Vietnam. I am your host, Dustin Chevier. This is episode 4 of the top 12. In the previous episode, we had a winner from episode 3 who has moved on to the quarterfinals. We discussed a lot about the LGBT plus community, which was a very interesting debate and quite a lot of arguments in that. If you guys haven't seen it, make sure to check that out. But today, the motion is a little different, and I think everyone can relate with this, and they probably have an opinion. The motion for today, that it is better to choose a high-paid job that you are interested in than a low-paid job that you like. So in layman terms, make a lot of money, but hate your job, not happy. Make a little money, but you love your job. And here we have a bunch of high school students who may or may not have ever worked before. So hearing their opinions will be quite interesting because they're going to be facing this in the future. It's inevitable. It's going to happen.
I think the motions are very interesting because mostly these motions center around topics that are really close and relatable to our daily life. And I hope that after they debate this motion, they will have a clearer idea about how the world looks like. And I hope that they will have more confidence and more knowledge for themselves as well.
Team CSP, I'll start with them first. Very small group and really sweet girls, but very nervous. Actually, probably the most nervous team. Their hands are starting to shake thinking about this debate. They're also worried that they might look bad on camera. I've told them that's why we use makeup. So no need for them to worry. I think they'll do well. If I move on to Team Ducks, they're completely different. They are actually the most relaxed team I've met today, which has been very interesting to meet them. You know, they're just taking it in their stride, and they really don't have any fear. So it's been lovely to speak with them. You know, they're just going in, they're going to see if they can do this, if they can win. You know, I like that positivity. Be proud of this achievement and go win. We'll go to win.
Firstly, I want to state that the mentor and the coaches here are all of my idols. They are really great debaters and working with them is such an honor. And the second thing that I think that when we are given the motion, they help us a lot with our way of approaching it. They help us with our style, how to actually win the debate.
We climb to the top.
So without further ado, let me introduce the two teams that we have here today. With the first team, we have the Ducks. The Ducks, we have Đặng Linh Khanh, Đỗ Quyên Phương, Đỗ Ngọc Bảo Chi. Welcome, girls, to the proposition team today. For the second team, please welcome CSP. We have Nguyễn Ngọc Hà, Nguyễn Thanh Tâm, Văn Thùy An. Girls, feeling all right?
Maybe.
Maybe. We'll see in a couple hours after we finish everything. So you girls know the motion. What do you think of this motion for today?
I think it's fair and it's kind of related to us because we're going to work in the future.
Yes, I hope so. Yeah, I hope so. I think everybody, yeah.
In short future, actually. So, yeah, we have to think about it.
Okay.
Decision making.
Good. You're thinking early on, so that's good. Girls?
Actually, I have noticed as an IELTS writing essay, and I think this motion is kind of weird.
Kind of weird.
Yes.
Really? Well, it's maybe weird for some people, but it's something that everyone's going to face. So I'm curious. I'm actually quite curious to see how you girls are going to debate this topic. But girls, so Ducks, CSP, thank you so much for coming up. If you can, please take your seats for me right now because we're going to introduce the judges.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Now for the judges, who are an essential part of this show because we have lots of contestants who are going to debate and the judges will be helping them. So for the first judge, please welcome Nguyễn Ngọc TIểNG, professional debate coach. For the second coach, please welcome Mr. Nguyễn TRANH, co-founder IEG Education. And last but not least, please welcome Mr. Evan O'Donohoe, professional English coach. So, without further ado, girls, contestants, Ducks, CSP, are you ready for the first match? All right. From the proposition team, please welcome Đặng Linh Khanh. From the opposition team, please welcome from CSP, Nguyễn Ngọc Hà. All right. So girls, this is the first match of the night. What are your thoughts?
I'm nervous.
Nervous?
Yeah, but quite looking forward.
Okay, so nervous but looking forward to it. Oh, that's very reasonable.
I'm definitely very excited because, who knows what's going to happen in this debate.
Yeah, but are you nervous at all?
A little bit.
A little bit?
My excitement is high.
Okay, so I'm going to stop talking. I'm going to introduce the rules to you. So for the first match, you will have 3 minutes to communicate your debate and your arguments. There is no POI, so there's no interruption. Because you're not going to be pushing the spell. I know. I'm just seeing if you're awake right now, just to get you excited. Let's begin the first match.
Money can't buy you happiness, but money is the key to make happiness attainable. According to Newsbright, 76% of people who find jobs makes the salary factor as the top priority. So, I will deliver this definition by asking the questions, what is the spirit of the motion? The person doing high-paid job is the one that earns a great deal of money and that helps you cover basic needs and other hobby, and you are able to afford luxurious things. Meanwhile, they hate everything that the job contains, from environment, nature to the colleague that they work with. Meanwhile, the person doing low-paid job is the one that earns a low amount of money and they're struggling every day to cover their basic need, but they have high interest in everything that the job contains. Now, as a first speaker, I prove to you that in your world, people will have no motivation to pursue their dreams, and if they have, it will render no success. Everybody is competing heatedly for the job in market. The concern for money is increasing dramatically, and it leads to that the number of people under the financial pressure is accelerating substantially. So let's imagine the world that you always have to think about money, and it is your world when people are paid low, but they have high interest. When you wake up every morning, the first thing you bear in mind, it's not how you can follow your passion, it's not how you can be more creative every day, but it is about how you can pay your electric, how you can pay your water bills, how you can eat today to minimize the money that you spend. So, there's no place for you to thinking about passion anymore, and you will have no motivation to pursue that dreams that you have planned anymore. So, what are we trying to say is that the basic need is the one that is really urgent and serious. When you stop paying the rent, you may get kicked out of the house, but meanwhile, your passion, it doesn't have deadline. If you stop following it now, you can following it in the future because it is still there. So the problem is you have to fix what is right in front of you right now. So our goal is to strategically pursue our dreams to render the highest rate of success. And which team can guarantee the motivation and a sustainable life for individuals, that team will win. So proud to propose.
Most people die at age 24, but get buried at age 70. They spend their entire life chasing after money, a pile of papers that they cannot take to their grave. Now you see, I see that in this debate, we're both trying to pursue happiness. We're trying to pursue a more meaningful life. But what is a meaningful life even mean? On our side of opposition, we believe a meaningful life is a life of happiness, independence, and fulfillment. Now, what role does your job play in creating this meaning? I believe that when you work from 9 to 5 every day on a job and you have dedicated so much of your time that it actually becomes a part of your identity. It determines what kind of life you will lead. In view of such importance, we believe that you should pursue a job that makes you happy every day, not miserable every day like proposition is existing, and even if it does not really pay so well. Now I will come to my rebuttals. They say that we need money in order to pay off our emergent costs. Now, I say that low-paying jobs does not equal poverty. Just because you work in a low-paying job, it does not mean you cannot afford your necessities. But even if you cannot afford your necessities, we believe it is still better for the society and for individuals in order to that they base their happiness on the worth of their work, and they don't pursue merely materialistic gains. Because you cannot expect yourself to be happy with a Ferrari or a cup of brandy if you always feel miserable whenever you wake up and go to work. Now, with that in mind, my first argument is going to be why chasing your passion makes a human life a meaningful life. First, you are happy. We say that happiness is very important in our life. When you do a job that you actually like, you wake up feeling inspired and energized. You want to see what you can achieve in a day. And plus, you feel like you're changing the world. And even if you don't end up changing the world, even if you don't end up the next Bill Gates or the next Mark Zuckerberg, we think you're still changing one world, your world. And now, but more importantly, you are the agent of your life when you pursue your passion. What does this mean? Well, if you pursue money, you are basing it as a motivation. You are prioritizing it over ambitions, what you want to do. You are letting a piece of paper tell you what to do, when to do, and how to do it, and you're no longer in control of your life. And so, to conclude, by pursuing your dreams, by breaking the chain, humans cease to be slaves of money, but instead we're individuals full of joy and agency. Thank you very much.
First match has come to an end. Because the first match is important, but it doesn't really determine too much. Because we're going to hear from the judges, and don't worry. So judges, let's hear it.
Both debaters today, you have very smooth speech. I think that in the proposition side, the speech is very neat. Everything was very, very skillfully executed. I especially like the idea when you say that the passion has no deadline. Maybe in the next few turns, I hope to hear more elaborations from your team on that. From opposition side, I think that your rebuttals today, the first rebuttal, when you address that low pay is actually not poverty, I think that's a very smart move. But when you're trying to elaborate it, I think that it doesn't go as well as it could have been. But your argument is actually quite nice. The reason why I give my 10 points to one team is simply because there is one team that have more practicality than the other team, meaning that they give me something that I feel closer to my experience, that I feel like it's easier for me to believe in. So on a very small margin, I would give my 10 points to proposition.
Opposition team first. I liked your quote at the beginning, the one about dying at 24 and being buried at 70. And I liked how you followed up with that, laying out how you're going to argue your case, make your main points. I did feel that we had two things covered, the happiness and the independence, and I didn't really hear you come back to the third piece, the fulfillment piece. So I'm looking forward to hear expansion on that later. I'll move on to the proposition team. Again, I liked your quote at the beginning, money makes happiness more attainable. Though I felt that could maybe lay out where the poverty line is. You made a big case about people struggling financially and that distracts them from their passion. So maybe defining where exactly that comes into play would be useful. For this one as well, for me, it's a very narrow decision. For the first round, my 10 points will go to the opposition team. Thank you.
Overall, nice opening on both sides. I think you guys bring up a lot of great arguments that the next debaters of each team can bring it forward. The great point about the proposition team is your structure is neat, it's logically flowing, so I think it's very easy to follow and the argument is built up nicely, okay? What's great about the opposition is your choice of vocabulary and your phrasing. So basically, you have extrinsic motivation, you have intrinsic motivations, both arguments are valid. Okay, it's not hard to come up with arguments. It's about how you deliver these arguments to convince us that your argument is stronger than the others. Okay, so for this round, it's hard. Okay, my 10 points will go to the team that give me a better clarification of the arguments. So that's why my 10 points go to the proposition team.
Girls, you just heard from the judges. So proposition team, 20 points. CSP, 10 points. But the judges this time were actually quite friendly with it. Sometimes it's not always the case, but they gave some positive feedback. So hopefully your teammates, the other contestants, they're able to reinforce their arguments, come back up here, and deliver it with a bang. So girls, again, and now you can go back to your seat. So yeah, thank you so much. So for those watching at home right now, the Ducks, or Ducks, have 20 points, the proposition team. CSP, the opposition team, they have 10 points. We'll see you in a second, right after the break.
Money can't buy you happiness, but money is the key to make happiness attainable.
Most people die at age 24. They get buried at age 70. They spend their entire life chasing after money, a pile of papers that they cannot take to their grave.
I liked your quote at the beginning, the one about dying at 24 and being buried at 70.
Welcome back to the second round of the debaters. Without further ado, let's get our contestants up right now. From the Ducks proposition team, Phung. From the opposition team, CSP, please welcome Wing Thâm. All right, girls, welcome to the second match. So, CSP. How are you feeling?
I feel very nervous, but I must win this round. But I won't win this team, I will win myself first.
I love your confidence.
Yeah.
So confident. I love this. All right, let's come over to Ducks.
You know, because the first speaker did really well, two of the first speakers. So it gives me more pressure on doing this round, but I will try my best.
Try your best. That's all we're asking for right now. I like to hear that.
Right.
So let me explain the rules for the second match. Second match, a little different from the first match. In this match, you will have 4 minutes rather than 3 minutes to deliver your speech. POI is entirely open. So we got our green little knobs right here. Have a question, hit it as hard as you possibly can, okay? And it will buzz. Do you need an example?
You can do it.
There you go, just like that.
Right.
So ducks, CSP, proposition team, you will go first. Do you
Yes.
understand the rules?
Yes.
Yes, good, I like to hear that. Let the second match begin.
It is a clear game to sacrifice pleasure in order to avoid pain. First, I would like to give some rebuttals to the first opponent of the opposing team. You said that you'd rather be happy every day other than miserable every day. It is wrong because when when you choose a high-paid job, we have a plan, as my first speaker have said, and we have a plan to go to, and we have the motivation to do that job and to earn money to invest in what we are interested in. Even if we are miserable in that job, imagine if you do a job that makes you very happy but doesn't really pay at all. What about your health care? What about your child's health care? What about other things that you have to cover, your rent? And you will be very motivated and you will soon lose interest in that job. And I want to state clearly that you are doing it the wrong way. Your first opponent only talk about happiness and not really taking money into consideration. Now I would like to get in our team ideas. My second round, I want to prove that in our world, you have an opportunity to be more successful and also help you balance out your life with what you're interested in, aka your favorite job. We have to agree that we are living in a materialistic society and money plays crucial roles, like my first speaker have said. Imagine if you follow your dream first, your job will be low paid and you can't meet the basic needs and you will be demotivated. When you have a job to do that is a high-paid job, I have to state again here that passion has no deadlines. You can do it anytime you want. For example, if you want to be an actress, if you are in a stable job, your chance of success will be much higher if you have a lot of money. And it's also a backup plan, a fail-safe option that you can fall back on. When you're pursuing a low-paying job, the chance of successfully into a career is very low. Pursuing a low-paid job requires a lot of time and energy. If you were to fail, you would lose a gigantic amount of money and time and energy that you can never get back. In addition, it can result in extreme poverty if you don't have a backup plan. And our high-paid job is that backup plan. If you climb a mountain, in your world, you climb a mountain and if you fail, then you will fall to the ground and you die. But in our world, we can still climb a mountain, but if you fall, you will have a nice mattress waiting for you under that mountain. Now, I would like to state that I would like to do our idea on the Maslow theory. First, it is basically a pyramid with 5-tile model of human needs, which move upwards from physiology, safety, love, self-esteem, and self-actualization. The order of importance also follows this structure, which means self-actualization is the least important and which means the physical things is the most important things that we have to cover first in order that we can satisfy what we are doing in a job. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, money is just a piece of paper, and the piece of paper itself is meaningless, and it's just valuable because people think it's valuable. Now, I'll let you do some rebuttals. You say that in your work, when you have a high-paid job, you still can balance your life and your hobbies, but it's wrong. Because what? Because when you do the high-paid job, will have a high requirements. And what are the high requirements? Are the deadlines, many pressures, and overworking time. And that means that you should work even when you are home. And you also say that if you do your passions and you fail, you will die. No, I agree it's wrong because it is the lessons encourage us to develop ourselves more and more. People who do the hybrid job will be very hectic with doing their work. They will be stressful with the thinking that they need to have a lot of money. So our second claim is that we are living in the society where people would run after the money instead of their happiness. And before I do my explanations, now I would like to say there is a social standard that in the modern life, people define success as having a lot of money, that people need to have money to live. And people in the society put too much cares on making money. And the interactions between human and human is more and more faded than every single day. Now, I would like to ask you a question. What would change if people would prefer to do the low-paid job that you are interested in, but not the high-paid job that you are interested in? First, when people do job, even the low-paid job, they would do it effectively and enjoy every single moment of it. Why? Because they like it. So, and even if it has many stress, but this kind of stress is the motivations, the lessons that encourage them to develop themselves. And what if people would prefer to choose the high-paid job that they are uninterested than the low-paid job that they are interested? When people do the job that they hate, they will do it half-heartedly to finish the work as soon as possible. And when they have stresses from the high-paid job, they will feel depressed and stressful. That means that they didn't work effectively. And what is the impact of this? Because in a world where people would run after pursuing the money instead of their happiness, people will step on each other to protect the benefits of themselves. The kindness, the charity would disappear. People will be really selfish. I would like to end my speech.
All right, girls. Second match. So judges, you ready to break it down? Second match, giving us some insight and clarity on how things went. Are you ready?
I think because in the first round, we already have said that you guys start up with strong arguments, but it is further development. With the second debater of each team, I expect you guys to bring the arguments of your previous debater to the next level. Now, this is what my general comments for both is that when it comes to debating, it's not about coming up with a bunch of nice, catchy phrases and reasonings. It's about putting these arguments in a very cohesive structure with a very logical progression. It seems to me like both of you guys are just collecting random thinking, which on its own is good, but put together in a structure is not convincing at all. For the proposition team, the same thing. You feel like, yes, it's great that you bring analogies about climbing the mountain and there's a safety mattress, but the only thing I get is, there's a safety net, right? Anyway, with this round, I'm going to give a point to a team, not so convincingly, but at least there's some clarity in the thought explanation for me. Anyway, for this round, my 10 points go to the proposition team.
I'd like to start with the opposition team. I thought the rebuttals were fairly good. They addressed the points made by the previous speaker, but I did find, again, there was a little bit of a lack of clarity about which direction you were heading in some of the rebuttals. How does having too many requirements and too much stress, how does that really affect a person? Following the passion, how do the people learn these things like persistence and trying again and again when they face these challenges? Moving on to the proposition team, similar comments for the rebuttals. How does having a high-paying job, is making money itself the motivation, or is the money going to be used for something more important, and what is that? For the arguments, I thought they were a little bit better structured this round than the opposition team, to be honest. But again, there was a little bit of time management issue at the end with the Maslow's hierarchy, where you didn't really get to fully expand on that. I thought both teams did an okay job delivering their message for this one, but I think both teams need a little bit more clarity in their arguments and how the effects are actually linked to the causes or the roots. That being said, for this round, I'm going to give my 10 points, and it's very close, it's a hard decision. I'm going to give my 10 points to the proposition team this round.
Similar to Mr. Hugh, I am also not very impressed by this turn as well. I've pointed out quite a number of problems of the two speeches that you gave. First, in terms of rebuttals, I think that both teams today, both speakers today, didn't deliver very, very good rebuttals. Your rebuttals for proposition side, it was more that you repeat your team's argument and then you consider it as a rebuttal without actually analyze what is wrong with your opponent's arguments. For the opponent's one, you even dropped some points and there were some points that was not rebutted at all. Number two, in terms of practicality. So even though I was so impressed with proposition side in the beginning of the debate when you gave very, very good reasoning and a lot of things that link to the practical life, in this turn, you only repeat those things. And by repeating an idea does not at all make it more persuasive. I would expect some more elaborations on it, some more examples. I know it is hard to pass that very, very high standard, but as a second speaker, that is what you have to do. That is your burden. For the opposition side, I can see that there is also very, very little ideas developments as well. I see there was a good part that you trying to compare between the high-paid job and the low-paid job in terms of stressful and how people are going to pull through it. But to be very honest, that was something that I had heard before in your previous speakers as well, so I'm not very impressed by that. But the bottom line is, in this round, I will give my 10 points to whoever make less mistake, and that is proposition side.
All right, CSP, ducks, 50 points, 10 points. So right now, 50 points for ducks, 10 points for CSP. However, we still have 2 more matches.
Yes.
I know you guys right now are probably feeling super confident. Well, don't, because you can still lose. CSP, you guys, it's not over yet, because we have 2 more rounds. So ladies, thank you so much. If you can, please return to your seats. So right now, ducks, proposition team, they have 50 points. CSP, they have 10 points. There is a big point difference right now. However, it is not over. We still have 2 more matches we'll have right after the break. See you later.
Then you will fall to the ground and you die. But in our world, we can still climb a mountain, but if you fall, you will have a nice mattress waiting for you under that mountain.
In a world where people would run after, pursue the money instead of their happiness, people will step on each other to protect the benefits of themselves. The kindness, the charity would disappear. People will be really selfish.
Welcome back to the 3rd round of the debaters. So now let's introduce the contestants for the 3rd match. From the Ducks, please welcome THÍCH. From CSP, please welcome PHİN ĐޮI. All right, girls. 3rd match. This one is quite important for CSP, so I'm going to start over here. So right now, you're behind by 40 points.
Like a really important person to me, I said, it's just 40 points.
It is. It's just 40 points, if you see it that way. So I think just 40 points is something very doable to win this match and bring it back up. Or you think they're going to take everything right here?
I'm not going to let it happen.
Oh. Okay, this is going to get intense. So we have a feisty match going to be happening in a second. So let me just explain the rules. We're going to get started right now. So the 3rd match is quite similar to the 2nd match. You'll have 4 minutes to give your presentation, and POI is open. So the Ducks, you will be starting because you're the proposition team. Opposition team, you will be going 2nd. So without further ado, this match is very, very, very important. Let's begin.
Dreams wait for you, but electrical bills don't. That's what we believe in. First of all, we'll start with a rebuttal to your team idea. Your first speakers stated that spending life chasing money is a totally useless life. However, we've stated from the very beginning that our plan is to follow the dream after we have a stable financial. And yes, she stated that even if we don't change the word, it's worthy. However, think of how the society has sponsored you. They give you facility, they give you the environment to live in, and you can't even pay it back. Secondly, your second speaker stated that yes, This is a lesson if we fail. However, this is a lesson of high paid. It is an unnecessary lesson that if you follow our path, you can avoid it. And yes, I will extend it further in my clashes. As a third speaker of this debate, I realized that there are three main clashes. First of all, motivation, happiness, and the likelihood of success. First, motivation. For our point, you may not get motivated by your job or even your goal after it. However, after you have a financial base, you will be motivated practically and securely. As the Maslow Tower of our second speaker have stated, once you have a stable fundamental, you can devote 100% of your time, effort to find and pursue your dream. However, for your world, yes, you might be motivated by your job. Yes, you may be loving it. However, you will definitely, even just at some point, feel guilty and doubtful. As our second speaker have stated at the Maslow Tower, you have to fulfill your basic needs first to realize when you have know who you are accurately. You don't have a stable fundamental, therefore you can't be so sure who you are. How can you be motivated from that? Secondly, happiness. You stated that we don't get happiness and we feel miserable every single day. However, yes, our team, you have motivation. You have a financial stability. You don't have to worry about those things such as bills, and you can balance life and take part in other entertainment sources because you have to ask yourself a question. How can you keep up with the job you don't like for that long? Because outside from that job, apart from it, you have other sources of entertainment. Not only yourselves, but you can also care for your loved one and all the people. Even have you asked the only reliable source that may have you to rely on in the future. Yes, negative feelings are inevitable, we accept that. However, for your team, negative feelings can even be less avoidable than we have. Why? You have peer pressure from outside. Yes, you stated that, okay, we have to enjoy our life, but do you think that when you see your friends out there buying the best cars for themselves, bringing their kids to the best school, and giving their parents the best medical services, do you feel guilty for that? You do, and therefore you're more likely to suffer from depression. Think of how your parents sponsoring you for your living and studying. Your ability can gain you more money. Basically, you have been wasting money and your ability and opportunity, yes, you may never comes up again in your life. Therefore, we benefit more stakeholder and we met your goal of attaining happiness in life. Moreover, likelihood of success, when you're financially secure, you have higher chance of success. As our second speaker have stated, that you have a safe path to drop back on. But when you're low income, you definitely can devote to your job 100% because you're even struggling yourself to meet basic needs in life. What we're trying to make is that our path will have higher chance of success than yours. Since after you're financially secure, you have more motivation to work for the best, and even if you don't success as the worst case, we still have a path to follow on. That's why we believe we should win. Try to propose.
Ladies and gentlemen, having a lot of money can help you survive. However, only by fulfilling your dreams and passion can you truly live as a human. Throughout this debate, our team can see three main clashes between the two teams' cases. First, what is a meaningful life and what is true happiness? Second, on which side of the house do you have a better human? And third, on which side of the house do you have a better society? First, I would like to make this clear that having a low-paid job does not mean that you live in poverty. You will still cover your basic needs of having shelter, of having enough food to live through the days. There is a difference between living in poverty, living on minimum wage, and not having anything to support you at all. And I like to make it clear that money is just a piece of paper and it does not hold any value, only because the value is that society adds to it. Value it holds, it's just, yes?
So you stated that we can still fulfill our basic needs. However, for this sake, we are playing an extreme role that medium wage is not what we're talking about. We're talking about low wage.
Up to this point, up to this stage of the debate, you cannot state that you're paying minimum wage or low wage. We have accepted from the first person that this is a low-paid job and you can still fulfill your basic necessities. Coming to this debate, first let me analyze the first clash on true happiness and what's the meaning of life. Yes, I agree with you that passion can wait. However, time is important and time is limited. Even on acting, even on any passion you do, when you grow old, there are things that you cannot do, like acting. When your beauty runs out, you can't just go and apply. You can't just go for apply an audition and go play any when you want to, when you're still young and beautiful. Furthermore, yes.
So you stated that when you're older, you can't do much things. Can you do that, such as paying electric bill that is urging you?
For the last time, I've stated to you that we can still pay and cover for the basic needs. Let me tell you something. True happiness only comes from passion and satisfaction when you really enjoy something. I would rather enjoy my work, still being able to pay for my fees, rather than staying in a hellish place for like half a day just to earn some so-called high-pay jobs for some luxurious life. The trade-off that I get after spending days, hellish hours just for some fancy Ferraris or some shopping bags, it's not worth my time. It's not worth my mentality. It's not worth the pressure. It's not worth the stress that I have to endure every day. Moreover, having enjoyed every single minute, every single second while doing my job already brings me joy and fulfillment. I don't have to go to cinemas. I don't have to go out for dining every day because I am already enjoying my life to its fullest. For the cases that you're saying that for healthcare or for such things as healthcare or rent, it is the extreme cases that does not usually happen. You don't get an accident every day. That's why the healthcare you have to pay, you don't have really to pay it every day, right? And even if I am in hard situations, I still have my supportive friends, I still have my colleagues, I still have the people in my job, I still have the people knowing me better, they can support me. Up till now, I think that we're being driven by money instead of our dreams, and it is the exact reason why we consider that money is more important than the passion we have. Thank you.
That was good. That was actually really good. That's probably one of my favorite debates so far on The Debater. That was intense. So ferocious questions, and you guys are just going at it. I love this. I really, really like this. Judges, it is the moment of truth. We have the Ducks with 50 points, CSP with 10 points. Let's see how you judged a third match.
A little bit repetitive based on the other speakers you had, so there's still the same sort of arguments being made, and they're not too different from your original arguments. So again, we have the idea that you can devote more of your time to your passions or dreams once you have this financial base. But again, it's not clear exactly when this, what is this financial base? Is there a number, or is there a time period on that? I thought it was good that we finally got a bit of an extension from the individual, talking about providing for family and loved ones. I thought the school and the medical care were important things to bring up. I thought the car example was a little bit out of place there. Again, how is success, my question was, how is success more likely if you have more money? Does the money help you invest into your passions, or does it help you to have independence, things like that? So I was still a little unclear about how that argument was being developed. On to the opposition team. Again, I liked at the beginning addressing their Maslow's hierarchy, where low-paying job isn't necessarily poverty, and use some direct things from Maslow's, the shelter and the food and things. So I like that rebuttal a lot. Moving on to your arguments. So in the opening line, you did mention the society, but I think with the POIs, which I thought you handled well, you sort of ran out of time to expand to that level. So we were still sort of in the individual level for that. I thought that the argument about passion and job satisfaction being more important than more luxurious items was very strong. Overall, I thought both teams were really good. I thought this round was a bit of an improvement from the last round. I thought things were more clear and more consistent with the style. It's really tough this round, and I think my 10 points will go to the opposition team.
In this one, I definitely think that it's very hard to judge on this one, because for prop sign, you guys have very, very good comparison between the clashes in terms of motivation, in terms of happiness. So you sum up very nicely what your teammates have done. You also took in the comments of the judges and build your arguments, the argument that was not fulfilled yet previously, to a better level. However, your rebuttals, as my colleague said, was not very, very convincing. However, I definitely appreciate what you brought in the debate by far, and I think it was pretty much a very good speech. For opposition side today, I think that the rebuttal doesn't sound very much different. You stress about the limitation of time, and I think that was really, really nice. But then when you go to the luxuries, it actually will not worth your time. Personally, I don't really get the reasoning that can persuade me yet. You didn't have enough time to carry on explaining about the clash that you say about human and society benefits. Number 3 is that you was a little bit aggressive when you gave the speech, especially until the end of it, but I'm going to give it a go. But there's one thing that I cannot, ignore is the fact that you said one argument about you don't actually get accident every day, so actually you don't need to care about that. I think that's a little bit not very thoughtful when you bring that ideas up, especially in this situation. Throughout the 3 speeches of your team today, the rebuttals didn't work for me. So I want to hear what happened in your case that does not happen in their case, and vice versa. So for all of the reason, I think that my 10 points now will ultimately go to the speaker that give me a better structure and also more persuasiveness in their speech. There's going to be proposition.
With the proposition team, I don't really highly regard your rebuttals. I found your rebuttals weakly reasoned and weakly founded, right? And even with the 2 rebuttals you gave, the second rebuttal is just like one sentence. I don't see the connection in that rebuttal with whatever the other teams are trying to portray. I felt the weakness and the flaw in your reasoning and thinking is you make a lot of, quick conclusions without any reasoning and evidence to prove that your reason and your arguments hold. So basically, what I'm looking for is really the foundation of your thinking and reasoning. I felt a lot of these reasoning are weakly founded. It's like very shaky ground. So work on those reasoning, I think is very weakly founded. With the opposition team, I know you're in a very tough position. You're the last person. You have to win all 3 judges to kind of have a shot as winning. I found out you have a very good layout in terms of this is what I'm going to resolve the 3 clashes. A better life, a better human, a better society. With that, you almost got me right away. I know that if you develop these 3 arguments strongly enough, you're going to win. Because I think that's a very nice structure to wrap up the cases. I actually like your rebuttals. I think it make it clear, and it's also really a strong rebuttals for the other team. And the fact that you handled the 2 POI, I think is a very good handling of the POI, because the other team keeps saying the same argument over and over again. And the fact that you can clash it, you can just dismiss it. We have already tackled this POI already, so no further argument. So good job on the wrap-up case, and my 10 points go to the opposition team.
All right, girls, I know with the final results, because Ducks will win regardless of the reply speech. And CSP, you guys will lose. But I have an idea. So this morning, I got a banh mi. You guys like banh mi?
Yeah.
So whoever wins the reply speech, you can have my banh mi. And I think I have a banh bao too. Jung Mui. So reply speech will do for banh mi. So now, if you can, please take your seats. And now we're going to be fighting for a sandwich. So thank you, girls. If you guys are at home right now, you probably will already know who won. The Ducks, you guys have 60 points for the proposition team. Opposition team, you guys have 30 points. But I think a sandwich and a bun actually is better. I'd rather have food anyways. But we'll see you guys in a second for the final reply speech.
Think of how your parents sponsoring you for your living and studying. Your ability can gain you more money. Basically, you have been wasting money and your ability and opportunity.
The trade-off that I get after spending days, hellish hours just for some fancy Ferraris or some shopping bags, it's not worth my time. It's not worth my mentality. It's not worth the pressure. It's not worth the stress that I have to endure every day.
You have a very good layout in terms of this is what I'm going to resolve the 3 clashes. A better life, a better human, a better society.
Welcome back to the Debaters 2019. We are here with VTV7, which is an educational channel here in Vietnam. We've gone through 3 main matches with the Ducks and CSP. Right now, the points are a little uneven. We have the Ducks with 60 points, the proposition team. We have CSP with 30 points, the opposition team. We had a very, very intense third debate that we just finished up, but we're not done right now. We are going to be competing for a sandwich and a bun with salty egg with a reply speech. So contestants, girls, CSP, ducks, you ready for the reply speech? So again, this one is very important. I know you probably feel extra confident right now, but we still need 100% from this. So with the reply speech, you will be given 5 points from the judges up here. So whoever is going to be getting the total of the 15 points, you get the sandwich and the bun with the salty egg. So we'll add it to your score regardless, just because it's the game tonight. But with this, the judges will not give you any feedback. We'll pretty much just finish up the show, and we'll be giving you the feedback at the very, very end. So without further ado, for the reply speech, please welcome from the Ducks, Lương. From CSP, please welcome Nguyễn. All right, girls, how do you feel right now? Because now we're competing for a sandwich and a bun.
Excited for a sandwich.
Good. Good. I like that. So quite excited?
Pretty hungry.
Hungry? Okay. I know with the sandwich you guys can cut it in half and then share it with your team as well. So this match, the rules are a little bit different because the last one we did was 4 minutes. This is only 2 minutes. There is no POI. Proposition team, you will go second. Opposition team, you are going to go first. So let's do this for a sandwich and a bun. Let's begin the final match.
In an imaginary world, I wake up, it's another day to be a lawyer. Life is stressful, I hate my job, and I just want to go home. Yes, I afford all the luxuries that proposition has said. I have the newest cars and I have no financial worries. But I hate myself, I hate my work, and I hate my life. I grow depressed every day because I have to do a job that I just don't like. I don't find any meaning in my job. And the worst of all, I constantly compare myself to my peers, the ones with the nice cars, the ones with the beautiful wives. I constantly feel that I'm not valuable because I don't have enough money, even though they say that I'm working a wonderful job that pays me well. I used to want to be an actress, but I can't right now because after all those years of grinding, I am mentally and energetically drained. Now, if I can go back in time and meet my 20-year-old self, I will say, go for acting. Because to be honest, you only live once, and I just want to be able to feel happy and excited again with my work. Even if I do have to worry about my finances, but hey, at least one day I will wake up and I will feel like I'm doing something meaningful. I'm doing something different. I'm not doing something just because society tells me that I need to do. I'm not doing something just for a piece of paper. And by that, I feel like I'm in control of my life. I'm not a slave anymore. I am a human with my agency, with my joy, and with my happiness. And that is why I believe if I ever have the chance to live again, I will go for the low-paid job that I love so much. Thank you very much.
I will prove to you that the lawyer in your imaginary world just will feel lucky that he does not choose to be an actress in that day. Why? Because everything with plan renders the best efficiency level. Let's take us back to reality by drawing two pictures of two worlds, a world with high-paid job and little interest, and a world with low-paid job and high interest. In our worst-case scenario, the lawyer, the person, will feel miserable and will feel dissatisfied with everything that he does. But he at least can have this financial stability to pursue his dreams in the future, and this can ensure his happiness and give him a motivation to reach that goal. So we believe that the happiness that he reach eventually will be greater than in your team. And in your team, with a world with low paid job and high interest, that you will be happy every day. Even if you can cover your basic needs, the chance of success of our team will be higher because we have a financial stability. So our goal is to ensure the Our both team goal is to ensure the happiness and to pursue dreams of both individuals, but we have a higher success and we will gain a larger happiness in the future. And we still can pursue our dreams. Like our third speaker has stated, we can guarantee the happiness of individuals, loved ones, and society. So we protect the larger group of people, and that is why the two reasons that make our teams win today. And we deserve to win so badly, and proud to propose.
All right, girls, thank you. We are officially done with all the matches. Please take a seat for right now. For those at home right now, we are going to be finding out who the final winner of tonight is right after the break. See you shortly. Welcome back to the final results of the debaters. We have gone through the 3 matches and the reply speech. Now, it's the moment of truth. So here we have the Ducks, the proposition team. Over here, we have CSP. Before we show the final results, just want to say a couple things. So first off, you guys, thank you so much for coming up here. I know how hard it is with all the cameras, speaking a second language, and having to be very fast and critical with what you're saying. It's really, really challenging. For those at home, you probably, if you haven't been in their shoes, it's hard to understand. So a real great job with that. So I'm very proud of you. So very, very good job. So thank you for that. All right. Now, for the final winner. We are doing this for banh mi in my left pocket, bun in my right pocket. You ready for the winner? So for the winner tonight, the overall winner, we already know it's the Ducks. But now, for winner of the reply speech, please give an applause to the opposition team, CSP. But for everyone at home, thank you so much for watching the Debaters 2019. We will see you again. Take care. Bye-bye.